All right, we is live. Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
And chat, how y'all doing? I see Miss Nancy out there, Kevin Sheely out there. Let me make sure you guys are streaming. Uh, where is Brett? He should be
Mine's,
here.
mine just says upcoming.
Go over there. Is that go or go? Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's streaming on Larry.
Yep.
Come on. All right, let's get rid of this. All right. Okay, Larry, you got in, bud. It's letting you stream, so we're
Wow.
we're rocking.
See, my
All right.
blind dog will find an acorn every now and then.
And Brett, that's another thing I like about Restream. We've got you guys paired on here. So
Okay.
everybody chatting on your stream and Larry's stream and my stream are all merged together right here on the overlay.
Yeah,
And
that's pretty
here
neat.
in here
Yeah.
in the chat
To the lake
to
here.
the left hand or right hand side, that's
So
all of our
I won't
channels
leave it up there.
paired. So
Give me
Oh, okay.
anyhow,
yeah.
uh like I said,
Looks like
no
looks like it's
intro
running.
music. So
Yeah.
all right, everybody in the chat. This is Brett with Madame Mare's Adventures and Mr. Larry with Forever Huffs. Say
Hello.
hello, 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 chat. They are going to educate us on RV life today.
I don't know how much of an education, but we're going to talk about the different styles of campers,
Yeah.
uh, camping on a budget, camping with no budget. We're going to talk a little bit about that. So, who wants to start it off?
All right. And before we get rocking, guys, I will be on at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time with Georgie. This is just before our stream, okay? Mr. Brett, he wanted to come on here and talk about RV life. So we going to do it. All right, Brett,
Oh,
y'all take it away.
I'll kick a little bit off. So, you got different styles of RVs and you got different budgets out there. So, which camper is right for you? Really depends on what your intended use is and how many people or pets that you may have in your group. Um, for us, it's just the two of us, no kids, no pets, and that's the best way to go. But if you have pets, then you have to make concessions for your pets. Um, there's different styles of RVs. You got Class A's, Class B's, Class C's. You have pop-ups, towables, what they call teardrops. They're still towables, and then you got tent camping. So you can. It's like, kind of like golf. I compare camping to golf because you can go to a yard sale, pick up a set of clubs, and be on the golf course, and spend just a little bit of money. Or you can go get some Jack Nicklaus clubs, name brand, buy them in the store, retail, and get on an expensive golf course, and you can spend a fortune. So camping's kind of the same way. You can go buy a Class A motorhome, decide camping's not for you, and you just suck a whole bunch of money. So, rent a camper, go with friends, do it on a budget first, see if it's your lifestyle, see if you like it. What we decided to do, now we didn't plan on buying this house right away. It was going to be a central point where we can come back, reset, and then go on another adventure. That's the intention of it. So, but we weren't planning on doing this. So when we sold the campground, our intention was full-time living, but we didn't want to take a lot of stuff with us. We wanted it to be on a budget. We wanted good fuel mileage. So we went with the Class C. Okay. It's a smaller, it's 25 foot, has a single pop out. And we'll talk about the slide outs too, because people think that you need slide outs everywhere. The more slide outs you have, the heavier your coach, the more it costs to pull it or drive it. So we like a single slide out, a big slide out. Like if you can get a super slide, what they call a super slide, where the whole side of the RV slides out and increases your entire living space with one slide, that's good because slide outs are typically the first thing that you start having problems with. They do tend to leak. Motors can go out. I mean, so the more moving parts you have, the more probability of having maintenance or things go wrong later. Just like the landing legs, a lot of people like the automatic levelers. They're great, but guess what? When they go wrong and they're stuck down, you can't move.
Yep.
So, unfortunately, the one that we have doesn't really have a backup system to get the legs up. They're hydraulic, so you got to get the functioning motors to work in order to get them back up. A lot of the newer motorhomes have a lot of circuitry too. All the fancy gee whiz stuff, all of them have circuit boards and they can all go out. and it can be very expensive, or you can be stuck in a place where you can't move and you're stuck. So yeah, they're nice to have, and we're guilty of getting some of the gee whiz stuff to make the creature comforts camping nicer. But you can also get yourself into a pickle if they don't function properly.
You bring up a lot of good points here, and I
Yeah,
agree with every bit of it. Uh, yeah, I'm like you. The simpler, the better, because we've had them all from pop up all the way up to, a very large motorhome. Uh,
right.
the motorhome, I ran into a lot of those problems. They were so nice and so fancy. There were so many circuit boards and different things. Something was always going out on it, and it was so complicated. I couldn't work on it. So we kind of stepped back. We went back to a simpler. We got a fifth wheel now, which
Mhm.
doesn't have near as much stuff on it, and it's simple enough. I can work on it for the most part, myself. Besides
Mhm.
the cost, the cost on the motorhome was, for me anyway, was just incredible. Every time I turned around, I was spending a lot of money. That was just to own it. That wasn't the major
Yeah.
problems going on. We did have a friend of ours that had a Prevost, which is like top of the
Yeah.
spec, and he had engine trouble. And before it was over with, it was a $40,000 bill to
Mm,
repair that engine, and that gave me a wake up call right there. I'm like, I don't want a bill like that. So we
right.
we got rid of the motorhome and went back to a fifth wheel. One other thing I wanted to say, you got to, and it's just that's a good analogy, is the golf thing. Uh, but one other thing you got to throw in there is this is a losing deal. You're going to lose money.
Yeah.
But if it's something you like to do, then by all means do it. But the campers themselves and motorhomes, they lose value so fast. You
They
know,
do.
maintenance you have to do on them, and the camping fees, and you're gonna lose money. It's gonna cost you to do this. But we're retired, and it's what we like to do, and it's kind of part of our budget is money we're gonna spend towards it. But I know when I get ready to get rid of this fifth wheel, I'm gonna lose a lot of money. Because
Well,
they do get pretty quick.
let's talk a little bit about. I mean, I got a lot of subjects I want to talk about, and I feel like 45-minute time limit. We got to get going. So, um, with the fifth wheel, if you already have a truck, so let's say you want to buy a camper and you're not sure what to buy. Well, let's look at your camping needs. Do you have a pickup truck? If you do, I would try and use it. Now, it should be a 3/4 ton truck or higher. It doesn't have to be a dually. Some people go all out and get the dually. The dually helps with payload weight and wind, left and right wind. It doesn't tow any better. It doesn't pull any more weight. It's just for cargo bed weight over the axle. So a 3/4 ton truck for most people does the job. So you don't need to go with the dually. Airbags, if your truck's squatting a little bit, you can airbag it up,
Hmm.
get the same results. With your towables, and you can use the weight distribution bars and wrench it up and get where you need to be relatively inexpensive. Um, what was I going to say? I got so many things going through my head. The fifth wheel is the best way to go for the most amount of space for the price,
Yeah.
especially if you already have the truck. It doesn't cost that much to put a fifth wheel in your truck. You can have it done, or you can do it yourself. It's basically two set of rails that you have to set in the truck, and they bolt to the frame. You can drill those holes right into the frame yourself, and I've done it a couple times. You can do it yourself, or you can pay somebody to do that. It's not a hard job to do, though. It's just positioning the rails, finding the right spots, and then drilling the holes. So you can set it up to tow a fifth wheel. Goosenecks are nice. I don't particularly care for goosenecks on campers. People do it. They spend a lot of money with the adapter kits to go from fifth wheel to gooseneck. Maybe they already have a gooseneck truck, like a work truck. And the thing about the gooseneck people like is that the ball will sit below the bed and then they can pop up. If you've already got that configuration, maybe that's a consideration. But I really prefer the fifth wheel plate for the campers. And there's a reason they use fifth wheels and not goosenecks. Goosenecks are more for um, hauling horses,
Yeah.
utility, heavy equipment, stuff like that. And the fifth wheels are more for camping. Uh, but they have other applications as well. But I'm speaking in generalities here. There's always exceptions to the rule. Um, but just trying to get on with that. So the cheapest thing is to just get a fifth wheel camper because you're going to get the most space, most bang for your buck as far as space camping, and you've already got the truck to pull. Now, let's say you don't have a truck and you're looking at the fifth wheel setup. The fifth wheel setup is good. There is some setup required in your campsite. It's not a lot, and most of it's all electric, but there are things to consider. You got to get it level. You might want to unhook. You got to rehook. I don't find these things difficult, but some people, as they get older, they just don't want to deal with those things anymore. So maybe you're opting to a motorhome. Like you said, a motorhome can be a big expense, especially when they break down. The smaller motorhomes are not as maintenance heavy. But again, I would get maybe slightly, it really depends on your budget. So it's hard for me to recommend, don't say Brett said, oh, go get this. It depends on your budget and what you want to spend to it. So some people want to go camping to save money. They want to sell their house and go all in camping, saving money. Will you save money? Most people won't. Can you? You can. And the way you can do it is if you can do your own maintenance on your rig setup, no matter what it is, and you long-term camp, like when you hit a different campground every day, that costs a lot of money. Plus you're spending more gas. But if you hit a campground and you get the monthly rate and you stay the whole month, or you lock into a 6-month deal, because I know down in Florida, they got a lot of resorts that are really nice. Like you don't need to go anywhere else. They have medical, like in the Villages area, you can get you can walk to your medical appointments, the bowling alleys, everything you'd want. Your public subs are right across the street. You can get everything you want right there in those little resorts. You might pay $700 or $800 a month, or more. Really depends. But you can get into a resort for as little as $600 a month.
Now, Larry likes the Villages. He likes that loofah stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, give me a loofah any day. Now, y'all know I cleared that up. That's none of that loofah junk going on over there. But we
At
do.
least with the loofahs, you know where they stand, right?
Yeah.
That's right. I wish they had a campground over there. That would be nice, but they don't. Hey, one thing I wanted to mention, you brought up about, more bang for your buck as far as a fifth wheel. You can get in a fifth wheel cheaper, but I want to talk a little bit about the slides. So on a motorhome, the slides come in, but it leaves that walkway all the way down the motorhome, so you can traverse the whole thing. Your slides in, because you're traveling inside the motorhome, and you might need to do that. To where fifth wheel, no one's in the fifth wheel, shouldn't be in the fifth wheel while you're traveling. So they'll make those slides where they can come all the way in and touch each other. They don't leave that middle walkway. So really, the slides on a fifth wheel are larger than what they are on a motorhome, which translates to when you get there and set up, even though you're the same length, you will have more room in a fifth wheel than the person does in the motorhome because your slides are bigger. They'll go out further.
About the only thing you can get into in a fifth wheel, when it's all closed up, packaged for traveling, is you can open the door and get to the bathroom.
Yeah,
that's about it.
They always leave it where you can get to the restroom with it closed up. But yeah, the most room you're going to have in one is in a fifth wheel.
Yeah, my last one, I couldn't even get to the kitchen.
We were trying to find one where you would boondock occasionally. That means free camping, either in a parking lot, roadside, whatever. Because I know up in Canada and Alaska, you can do that pretty easily. Pull off the road and you can camp there. But as you get toward Florida and the more warmer states, it becomes illegal. So it gets harder to find places to boondock. But boondocking is a good way to save money if you're just trying to get from point A to point B and you're not trying to do anything in that location except sleep and get up.
Yeah.
So we have found that a good place to do that is way stations, truck way stations.
Okay.
I think that's just for trucks, but they don't tell you that campers can't go there. Right. Just be respectful and don't get in their way and be off to the side and be nonchalant. So one way to get away with boondocking is to have minimum slides and try not to put them out if all you're doing is sleeping. Don't set up camp. Don't put up your awnings. Don't put chairs out. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
You're
that's kind of etiquette.
You're telling on yourself. You want to blend in with parked cars. That's what you're trying to do.
Right. Truck
So
stop,
one,
Walmart, or any of that. You don't put slides out or any of that stuff. Yeah.
one thing we
Okay.
tried to consider was um, being able to boondock without putting your slide out. Do you have access to your bed? That's a question. Do you have to put your slide out to get your bed down? With ours, you do, but there's a couch. When it's closed, there's a couch. So it's a Murphy bed system. That's probably the only drawback. But if you wanted it all in a 25-foot coach, that's something you just had to, sacrifice. So I just wanted to say that. And the convenience, too, when you're traveling is the wife can get up, go back, use the bathroom, because I
Yeah.
typically don't have to stop. She's the one that has to stop. So she can go back, make a sandwich, bring me a sandwich, get something to drink, use the bathroom. You can do all that while you're moving.
Another thing to bring out on the boondocking, you're talking about being able to boondock. Very
Yeah.
few rigs come ready to go out of the door to boondock. Most of them
Yeah.
have a freshwater tank and that sort of stuff, but
Mhm.
the issue comes into power and how big is your gray tank and your black tank. How long can you go? But I would say power mainly. Your motorhomes usually have a generator built in, but your fifth wheels and campers don't. So you're gonna
Yeah.
have to figure out how you're gonna power that rig while you're
Correct.
docking. Yeah,
Yeah.
Solar
Now
power.
a lot of people do solar power.
Yep. There's a lot of tricks to the solar power. So we have a Tiffin Wayfarer, which is a Class C. It's a smaller Tiffin, but it's the newer ones. We got a 23 model, but the 24s and 25s are all electric now. So that means everything runs on a power cell, on a battery, and they have solar panels and a bigger inverter. I don't like the electric stoves, and I'm glad we don't have one. We have propane fired stove. We have a propane fired heater, hot water. So it's hot water on demand. It's not a tank. It's tankless. Well, it holds like a gallon and a half of water, but it's almost instant hot water. And when we don't use it, we turn it off. So when we're ready for hot water, we turn it on, go to the tap. It's hot like that. So we like that. And we like that the stove is on and off like that. Otherwise, the electric, everything else on the coach is electric, which is kind of handy in a way. You don't want too much electric because now you got to carry, more batteries, or you can go to lithium. I mean, on these market, what I'm thinking, Facebook groups, they talk about the lithium batteries and upgrading. I'm like, now you're spending more money. You're spending a whole bunch more money, and I think it's unnecessary. I think
Those batteries are close to $1,000 a pop.
yeah, they can get pricey, and they have their limits too on as far as you can't charge them when they're freezing. You can't camp below freezing and charge your batteries with lithium batteries. They're no good in the cold, so they have their drawbacks. So we have not switched over to lithium. You can, but I'm not biting that apple. I think they're cost prohibitive, and I don't think you get that much benefits out of it. Now you're going to have people go, oh yeah, you can boondock for 2 weeks and da 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 da. And it does have a solar panel, but not enough. Like, let's say we boondock for one night. For one night, we're fine. Nothing wrong with the refrigerator. It'll still be running the next morning, but it does draw on those batteries pretty hard. But they have a sleep mode button. So if you're not in and out of your refrigerator and your door stays closed, you can put it in sleep mode, and it gives you 8 hours on a reduced draw, usually when you go to bed. So you go to sleep 10 o'clock, you push that button, you wake up at 6, 8 in the morning. It turns itself back on to full power. And you can start your coach and get down the road, and your battery will recharge as you're driving. And there is a one solar panel that comes on the Tiffin, but it's not enough to run anything, but it will trickle charge your battery. So it does help.
That's
You
a
only
point
get
you're making there.
amp.
The camping industry or the camper industry, they pay attention to what people are doing. And several years ago, people started adding solar to their thing. So now most campers that you buy now, whether it be a fifth wheel or bumper put, whatever, they have them wired for solar. They don't put the solar panels on them, but they have it wired. So if you wanted to add that to it, it's already kind of wired up, makes it easy for you to do.
Yeah.
So
I do like the solar option. I'm just not all in on it. Like, I like it to help, but I don't want to rely on it completely. So
Yeah, me neither. I'm not a big fan of it. The cost is a big issue. So
yeah.
going back kind of to your first point, we was talking about the different types of campers.
Okay.
I know you've been at this for a long time, and we've been doing it for a pretty good while too. But what would your advice be to the first time buyer? Let's say, we got a lot of younger people that watch our channels, and they got a couple of small children, but they want to get into camping. What would your advice be? What should they look at to kind of start out on that first camper? What would the priority be?
Do they have a vehicle that can tow a small camper? Let's say a 19-foot tow behind. Do they have a vehicle that can pull that? A basic half-ton truck or even an SUV could pull that. So I guess that's the first question. If so, maybe they could borrow one or rent one for the weekend and see if they like it. But I wouldn't go buying one yet. Let's see if you like it first.
Yeah, because I know at our point in life, we bought a bumper pool, kind of a smaller bumper pool, a few years ago. And we said, yeah, this will be all right, and then we got it. And we had fifth wheels prior to that. We knew it was a lot smaller, but it's just the two of us now. And we thought, we're so spoiled with all the room. I didn't keep it 6 months. I traded it in and got a bigger fifth wheel because we like having the room. I would almost encourage the first time camper to stay away from pop-ups. I really would. I just found them to be very cheaply built. They're not comfortable. It's, I don't know. I don't have anything good to say about a pop-up. But a lot of people jump into that because that's the cheapest way to go.
It's cheap, and it depends on your age. Like you and me don't want to lay in a pop-up bed because it has no mattress. It's like plywood. But so 18-year-olds, or you got two kids that are 10 and 12, they don't care.
Yeah,
they'll enjoy
twice a year. Yeah,
yeah. And you could pull a pop-up with anything. Volkswagen Beetle could pull a pop-up.
Just about, yeah.
A Jeep could pull a pop-up. So they're versatile and they're inexpensive to get into. They pop, literally, they pop up, and there's usually a canvas thing, and the sides pop out on a pop-up. But they have hard-sided pop-ups. They're called high-lows.
Yeah.
Where the bottoms come up, and then all your cabinets inside push out. They've gotten real creative on how much they can pack, how they can pack it all into a little box and pull it down the road. The advantage to those is, fuel economy is hardly touched at all because there's no wind drag.
Now, have you guys seen the literal vans that they're selling now that are already decked out for camping?
Vans are Class Bs. We can talk about Class Bs. They're camper vans, or most of them are, what do they call them? Masters, ProMaster vans. They have the high top.
Yeah.
Typically, and you can tell they have the air conditioner on them. They're set up for camping. They're small. They typically don't have pop outs. Maybe bigger tires to go off road a little bit. Sometimes they have generators.
That's them right there. Do you know what the price tag on them are?
Yep,
we looked at them at the Strawberry Festival. We looked at one of them. And they're starting at about. Yeah, they're starting out expensive.
Let me guess, about $230,000.
The one we priced was about $130, but they go up depending on what's inside of one of the suckers. And I'm like, really? For a little small van like this compared to what you guys have is just crazy.
Well, my Class C isn't much bigger than that, and it retails for $209. Now, I didn't pay that for it. I paid $140 for it, but it was 2 years old. One owner out in Florida, Merritt Island. The guy lived out in Merritt Island. We went out there and looked at it, and we bought it. So it worked out. So you can get some deals out there. And if you're looking for deals, here's what you do. Ocala has one of the biggest RV stores in the world. Optimum RV, I believe it's called, but you can go to any RV. Just pick a big one. Walk through them, get a feel, sit down, ask your questions, see if this is enough room. Now, what you're looking for is just enough space. Don't buy extra space. Extra space is extra weight, and you need more vehicle to pull it. You need more gas. You need more everything. So minimize everything. You don't need to take the kitchen sink with you when you go camping. Downsize. You think you need it, but you don't. The only thing you really need to pack is a toothbrush and a roll of toilet paper. Everything else is extra. Literally, you can survive with a toothbrush and a roll of toilet paper. And toilet paper is even optional. You can use a bidet. I prefer a bidet, but you need a toothbrush. Everything else you can work out. You don't need to upsize your couch. You don't need to take pillows. You don't need to take all this extra, I'm going to say weight, garbage, things you don't need, creature comforts. Just enough to make the camping experience fun.
Yep.
All your extra stuff you can leave at home. You'll get back to it.
Well, that's like I was telling you last night. For Mom and I, we can't leave for a long period of time. A weekend would be it for us. So me and her personally, we would look at a van type situation. That way it's small, compact, got enough room for us, the birds, and the dog. And we would just be gone for a weekend. But you guys like to go out for a while. So
yeah, we'll be leaving. We're going to snowbird this winter. We're not going to be here at all this winter. So we're going to leave probably around November-ish, depending on the weather. And we're going to be gone until March.
Hey, there you go.
So 6 months. That's what we always wanted to do when we were in Shady Oaks. We wanted to be what they were doing. They're all coming and filling up the campground during the winter. That's the only time to be in Florida, in my opinion.
All right. I'm going to take a second here and tell our chat. Hey, guys and gals, if you don't know who these people are, this is Brett from Madam Mayor's Adventures, and this is Larry from Forever Huffs. And Larry's got his co-pilot sitting there with him. So if you guys don't mind, mods, post the links for Larry and Brett, and anybody that's not subscribed to these guys, please go over and check them out. I know Brett and Therese, a lot of you know who they are. They do a lot of the RVing and stuff. And so does Larry and Mrs. Larry. They like to do the cruises, the camping. I think you even got a little cabin, don't you, Larry?
Yeah, we've got was going to be my hunting camp, but she likes to go out there, so it kind of turned into a tiny house.
So any of you guys, guys in the chat, okay.
Yankee Bell's on it. Thanks, Yankee Bell.
Any of you guys in the chat that are interested in, the cruising, the RV stuff, these are your guys right here. All right. They know all about that stuff. Me personally, I don't know nothing, but I know what I want to do. It's just, that's down the road. But so
you
please take a minute.
You have animals at home that keep you from going more than a weekend? Yeah.
Right. Well, no, we've got chickens. We've got our 12 chickens. But hey, I'm not getting rid of my little golden nugget gold here. I mean, they keep us in eggs. So we can leave for a weekend at a time easily. We just have to take. Well, you probably saw Blue a minute ago. We take the parrots with us and we take the dog. That's why we would need something at least a van size, because we would just be needing it for just overnight. It wouldn't be something we would live out of.
So, in finishing my thought real quick, you're not going to want to spend $130,000 on a brand new Class B. So, and if you have dogs, you're not going to want to buy a brand new coach and put dogs in it anyway. So you're going to want a used one. So what I was saying is go to a big RV place, feel them out, get some prices, but don't buy there. Ask your questions, feel them out, and then go on to rvtrader.com or some other website and buy used from a private owner. But don't forget to book it. There's lots of platforms out there. You can use NADA, you can use Kelly Blue Book, you can use a lot of different, there's numerous ones now. Those two I mentioned are ones that I used to use to book, to get the value of the camper that you're looking at, and then negotiate. And if you need to get someone that's more experienced than you to walk through the coach, by all means. If you want to pay an expert to do it, I think for a couple $100, you can get an expert to look at it. And if the private owner doesn't want you to do that, then they're hiding something.
Yeah.
So
that's very good advice right there. If you're a first-time buyer, I'm sure you know somebody. You got a friend or somebody that's been camping. Get them to go look at it with you, because we've had them. We know what goes. We know what messes up first. We know where the problems are that you can't really see. It just kind of walking around. Look, we know where to look, right?
Right.
Because we've had to deal with it already. So Yeah, that's an excellent point. If somebody's a first time buyer, find a friend or somebody that's into camping and have them go look at it with you. Because I promise you, they will know what to look for where you may not.
Now,
Yeah.
Brett brought up a good thing to answer. I cannot remember your name, sir. I'm
Leon.
so sorry. Huh?
Leon.
Leon. Leon was talking about that while you were changing your shirt. He mentioned, where can you find used RVs? Did I not pronounce it right?
No,
I
he's
see.
just laughing
I'm
with
just
me.
laughing. They're all probably thinking, "What? Changing shirt?"
Yeah, it was before we got started, but he brought up a good question, and I think Brett can answer that. He was talking about, where can you buy used RVs? You know, it's not like you can just pick up and go to a used RV lot. Where do the used RVs go? So Brett could probably answer that. Besides Marketplace, you know.
Well, this marketplace, rvtrader.com. They specialize in RVs. That's all they sell on there. In fact, we have sold a coach.
No.
Oh,
Uh oh.
So if you have one to
There, he's back. You kind of froze there for a second, Brett.
Oh, I said RV Trader is a good place. We have sold one on that platform. We've also bought one on that platform.
Oh, there you
something I
go.
want to bring up,
The
Brett.
one we have now, we found it on RV Trader, and we went and talked to the guy. We took the 3-hour drive over to the East Coast and talked to the guy. That was the second Tiffin he had bought. His wife became ill; he could no longer travel. Those are the deals you get. You get deals when people think they want to travel or think they want the RV, but for some reason, due to illness or they change their mind, they decide they don't want that RV or they want a different RV. That's when you can scoop in and get a great deal. This thing had less than 4,000 miles on it. To me, that's a brand new camper. He went on one road trip out west and back. That was it. So he was an older guy, so I know he didn't even know how to use a lot of the systems that were on there. So I know all that stuff was new. He barely touched it. He even had an upgraded fuel tank installed on it because it comes with a 24.5 gallon. He put an aftermarket 47 gallon tank, and I love that because when you're going through Alaska, you can go hundreds of miles without seeing a gas station. Or with the big tank to it, and it offers you the opportunity to shop for gas and get the cheapest gas. You know, you can pass gas stations up. Typically, the
Mr.
gas
Lee,
station, yeah,
Mr.
typically those
Leon,
gas.
what question did you have, Mr. Leon?
I was gonna. Brett kind of touched around on buying campers, and the one thing I'd recommend to somebody that's never owned a camper before is don't go to a dealer and get oversold on a camper. If you know nothing about camper and you don't have a friend that can kind of
Yeah,
advise you, get something small and figure out if you're gonna like it first. Okay.
right.
People have got the misconception that they're gonna love it. And like my ex-wife, she hated it.
How did I know
She
we was going there?
hated camping,
Yeah,
like what we're talking about, boondocking and going out. And Larry can vouch for that. She did not like camping,
yeah,
like traditionally you're supposed to camp. But if you don't know a lot about camping, I'd recommend find that friend and get some advice, and don't go big until you figure out if you're going to like it, and number two, until you get a little experience to figure out exactly what you really want. Get an entry level camper is what I'm saying.
yeah.
Would you agree with that, Brett?
I do. Yep. Go small first. Even rent it or borrow one if you can, because it's some people are in love with the idea of camping, but when they actually do it and there happens to be bad weather, now they're turned off to it. And
Exactly.
if you have pets in bad weather, that's not fun either because the dogs get wet. You bring them back, you got to dry them off. The pets can be a hassle. Hey, I love dogs. I had 4 of them. 3 of them were trained in agility, so I had dogs. They were springers, so they're high strung dogs. They're not best camper companions. So if you must have a dog, um, keep it small dog, nice lap dog, um, preferably one that doesn't shed or doesn't bark because you're going to have neighbors that don't want to hear barking dogs. Um, but that's a whole different segment talking about good travel pets. But we can
Now,
get off that.
Georgie brought up a good point there.
What's
Some
that?
RV places let you test units before you buy?
Oh, I haven't looked into that. I don't know.
That'd be a good way to go.
Oh
Yeah.
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 Like you said, Brett, try it before you because
Yeah.
a lot of people have this vision, and 9 times out of 10, when you're going camping, till you've been through your first major storm in a camper, major rainstorm in a camper, it's all peaches and cream.
We
Yeah.
did
And those-
we did the full time in one time for about 6 months, but that's all I could make it. I've got to have home base, so full timing was not for us. I don't know if you guys have ever tried it or not, but
We both love full timing. That was our intent. We didn't expect to hop into another place this right away. We just happened to come across it and was like, oh man, this is perfect. But we were going full time for at least a couple years. So we're okay with the small space because here for us, camping is outdoors. I'm not buying a camper to live in. I'm buying a camper to transport and sleep in, and our adventures are outside.
that's a
So
good way.
camper life is about being outdoors, not about being indoors. So you have to have that mentality. You have to like the outdoors, or you're probably not going to like camping. You're going to be in a little box, and you're not going to like it, and it's going to get on you. You're going to get cabin fever, and that's a real thing. So you want enough space to house your stuff, to be able to travel efficiently and enjoy the outdoors and move around. That's why we got a smaller camper. She can drive it. I can drive it. We flat tow. That's a whole nother subject we could get in. We flat tow a Jeep, so you can take the transfer case right out of and flat tow it. That's the best way to go. It's quicker. It's cheaper than loading it onto a trailer or a tow dolly that people use. I don't understand that. There's a lot of pieces to a tow dolly and a trailer is something else that can go wrong. Trailer tires typically go out and go flat faster than a flat tow vehicle does.
Yeah,
Well, since you guys seem to be the gurus of RVs that I know, you guys want to field some questions from the chat, see what they,
Yeah, sure.
if you guys got anything that you can answer for them. So chat, while we're chatting away, you guys pop your questions up. When I see one, I'll pop it up on the screen and let these gentlemen answer it. That okay with you guys?
Yeah, that'd be good. While we're waiting on questions, I want to add to what Brett said. Flat towing means you can just hook a vehicle up and pull it behind your thing. You don't have to have it on a special trailer or anything like that. But we must caution you, very few vehicles can be flat towed.
Correct.
Do your research.
The most popular and the one that we like and the most versatile is the Jeep Wrangler.
Jeep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all talking about vehicles.
Yeah. There are others that you can tow, and I can't really speak to them. To me, it was a Jeep Wrangler or bust because it has a transfer mechanism that takes it out so that your transfer cases are not spinning the whole time. You don't want that. That's more friction. It's more maintenance. You want your wheels to free roll.
The new Ford Broncos got the capability to flat tow.
Okay.
Oh, that's what y'all are talking about. You're talking about towing a vehicle behind your RV.
Yes.
Okay.
They call them toads.
A toad, that's right.
Yeah, they call them toads.
Yeah. All right. I see where you're going.
We want to caution you. If you're going to get a motorhome, look into that vehicle you're going to have to pull behind it, because chances are the vehicles that you own right now will not flat tow.
Yeah,
it's very few vehicles will flat tow.
Now,
and you got to get a frame mounted mounting plate for that vehicle. It has to the tow points have to be on the frame.
Yeah.
And then they have the Blue Ox is what we use, is the Blue Ox tow bar. Got 2 pins you put in it, 2 pins you pull out. It's that easy. You have to have an emergency braking system. So your vehicle needs to be equipped with a braking system of some sort. They have many different kinds. You can find those on Marketplace. We got ours on Marketplace, and then we had someone install it. So you might be $1,000 to get that done.
Wouldn't like the electronic, e-bikes or bicycles be just a better form of y'all are pretty much staying in little confined, parks, right? So wouldn't something like a bicycle or an e-bike to get around on be better than pulling a giant freaking Jeep or Bronco? Or
depends on what you want to run to the store. You don't want to decamp every time you want to run to the store.
Exactly.
We put our
Right.
fold-up e-bikes in the back of the Jeep, and we took the seat out.
Oh.
Remember, we're just two people.
So you are taking the
fold-up
e-bikes with you.
E-bikes are inside the Jeep, so they can't get stolen when you're out parked somewhere, or they can't be taken off the back of your camper because people do stupid stuff. You want to keep your stuff. E-bikes aren't cheap.
Right. So you do carry e-bikes with you.
Sometimes depends on where we go. Yeah.
All right. Because I think it was who was it I was talking to about? I think it was Larry. It might have been you and Therese. We were talking about the park I got down the road from the house, Margaritaville.
Yeah.
Now that's an all self-contained little RV park. So why would you even leave? They have everything you need there. That's where I'm coming in with the e-bike stuff. You know, why would you need a big vehicle if you're in a park like that?
That situation, you're full-time, you're staying there, e-bike's all you need because everything is tight in Florida. It's all close there in Central Florida, Orlando area. Yeah, it's a very congested area. So an e-bike is all you need there, really. The villages is the same kind of thing. You live in the villages, what do you need a car for? Everything they have is right there for you.
There's your question, guys.
What's
Where are the best fishing places?
Where you go, everywhere you go. I mean,
most campgrounds are centered around a lake. A large majority, not all of them, but most of them. That's one of the draws they have to their campground. And while I got the mic for just a second, I want you to touch on one other thing that we kind of hit on there, talking about the e-bikes and different things. After we answer a couple of these questions, if you don't mind, take this topic of a toy hauler. You know, toy hauler is something that came about relatively new, you know, a few years ago. So discuss that and how that plays into camping. So now jump on the next question.
There you go, right there. License. That's one question I did have, and Joe brought it up. You know, do you need a Class A license for anything larger than a fifth wheel camper?
Driver's license, I think only California requires you, if it's over 40 feet, to have a Class B license. Everything else, RVs are exempt. So RVs are recreational vehicles. They're exempt from licensing with that one exception I mentioned. They're also exempted from weigh scales. So you don't have to pull into weigh scales.
All right. Because that was a question I had. Because you got the campers that are those big, giant, look like buses, you know, look like the old Greyhound buses. They're huge. And I would think that you would have to have a special license for one of those.
But you don't.
No, you don't. The truck driver can't stand it.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Miss Tammy got a question for you guys. Do you need special? That we just answered that. Okay.
No, you don't.
No,
Unless
you don't.
Live in California, certain size, you need a Class B, I believe they said. I've read that before, but I don't know.
All right. That's all the questions right there that I see so far.
So the toy hauler is basically a fifth wheel that's usually bigger, heavier. It has a built-up steel frame in the back for putting RV side-by-sides, dirt bikes, and that in the back. It's a garage. So the whole back end of the RV door comes down as a ramp. You drive your stuff inside. Some of those spaces also have an extra bathroom. They have beds that raise up and down so you can put stuff under them. And when you take your toys out, then the bed comes down and it becomes a living space. Some of them also have extra fuel pumps, like for your toys for gas. You can pump from a small tank into your ATV and you can drive it off. So they're fun. You need a kind of a good sized truck to pull those. They're heavier. Usually they're triple axles. They can weigh 18,000 pounds. So you need the right truck for that big stuff.
All right, boys. I mean, you guys have packed a lot of information into this 45-minute time frame we had.
I got so much more. I could talk for hours.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know. We'll have to have a round two when Mikey gets home. We'll have to have a round two on that because I know Mikey has a big fifth wheel. So, you guys want to plug your channels? Go right ahead because we're going to scat here in just a few minutes.
Hey, well, Madam Mayor's Adventures. It's me, Brett, and my wife Therese. She runs this channel. She doesn't want to get involved in these little live chats about RVing, so she's in the other room. But hey, check out our channel. We do adventures. It's not all RVs. It can be thrift sales. It can be out on the boat. It can be camping. It can be any number of things. Anything's an adventure. Life is an adventure. Check us out.
All right, Larry.
Yeah, we got Forever Huff's Living, and our channel is really a lot like Madam Mayor's channel. We're retired, and we just do videos on whatever we're doing. You know, it could be camping or hunting or fishing or whatever, going on a cruise. One thing you just said that I didn't think about it till just now is I hate that Madam Mayor didn't come in and Sansa didn't come in. It would have been nice to get the female's view of what's important with camping, because things that are important to her is not necessarily important
Do
to
another
me.
chat.
Yep, we'll do a part 2 on this.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
we'll do
part 2, part 3, part 4. I'll get her in there.
Bring the
Oh, yeah.
ladies in and let's hear their perspective on what's important to have in a camper or whatever. So I'm sure most of the ladies in the chat would have enjoyed hearing their perspective too. So but anyway, thanks for you guys asking me to come in today. I had a great time.
Yeah,
All right.
Enjoy chatting.
All right, chat. You heard the guys. Go over and give them some YouTube love. You know, subscribe to each one of them if you're not already subscribed. And we will plan a part 2 once Mikey gets back from vacation. I know the Huffs are going out of town this weekend, so look forward to that in the next couple of weeks or so. We will definitely put something on the books for that. And guys and gals, be safe, have fun, and I will see you in about 15 minutes.
Bye, guys.